This is cool. Rust. Holes right through. Awesome. I know you think that guy's a nut. We're going to show you how to fix this stuff without buying panels. Just use this metal you got sitting around. This is going to be fun. Welcome back to Ain't Scared Garage. I've been promising this video for a couple of weeks. That big ass hole in the floor, it looks pretty now. I'm gonna show you exactly how I did it. I haven't done a very good job of filming this, so I'm gonna try to make up for it today. So this here piece is what I made. All right, the way I did this was right here, I laid one piece down. This piece was flat right here. This wasn't here. This was just one piece flat. And I laid it down here. It already had this dimple in here, and I shaped it to the floor so that that piece would fit. Then I made this piece that's on the side. It's a mess because, yeah, I didn't make it long enough. I had to extend it on both sides, but no big deal. What you would do is make this piece alongside, welded it onto here, and it was actually flat all the way up to here. And I welded it onto here, and then I welded it on the back so that I had some meat to cut into so that I could round this to make it look like it was just bent. And so then I cut the excess off and then used flap disc and just rounded it to make it a piece like that. And that's basically all you have to do to make these pieces. Now what we have to do is we have to make this corner piece. And what we're going to do is I already put a little flat piece and I put it up here and I shaped it so that it was the proper shape of the corner of the door. And then after I did that, I welded this other piece right onto it because now I have the right shape. So sorry I didn't film that, but that's all put on there. It's welding. There'll be some welding. You'll see it in a little bit. And now that'll go right in there. Now what I have to do now is make another piece, need a third piece. This is where the weather stripping clamps on for the door. And so I got to put a piece on that'll match that weather stripping right there. I got this piece of metal, big old piece like this, and this is already the right shape. So basically, all I have to do is weld this piece onto this piece. And I already got the right shape, and then we can cut it down to make it fit the way that we need it to fit. I'll pop this sucker right here, and let me just clean this up a little bit. And now I'm just going to tack this on here. That way it's there. Once I put a little welding in there, and get a good weld on it anyway, and tack it down right here. Now it's attached to this piece of metal. Now at this point here, I can now take and work with this. I have to weld it up so that it's solid on that piece of metal. And once I do, then we can start doing our trimming. I got it all welded up. Now I'm gonna cut that big old corner piece off, and this is what we got. So this is now the right shape, with the exception of I still have to trim it down so that the piece will be the proper size to hold the weather stripping on. Right there's got to be cut down. So let's get over here and put it up in the corner and see what we got. So it's a little warm, but it's not so warm I can't handle it. So this piece is gonna go right here. But I still have this little tab here that it needs to be cut off. I always leave more than I need and I cut it off later. It's easier to cut it off than it is to add it like I had to do with that big piece, but that's another story. So I'm getting my awl here and I'm going to just scribe a mark right on here so that I know exactly where I have to cut this thing off. Just going to scratch that sucker right there, just put a little nice little scratch in it, and at that, now I know I just have to lob that little piece off there. So I got that lobbed off now, and here's the piece. And you see I cut the side down so it's the right size for the weather stripping to just grab onto there, and it matches the piece that's coming down from the rest of the door. And now it's just a matter of welding that sucker in, and that's how you make one of them little corner pieces. It's just 3 pieces, that's all, done. Then I put a flat piece here, bent it to fit, and same deal over and over until we had it all right and all down to here. Added a piece here, and I didn't have to add a piece here, but did I have to add a piece here? And welded this all up so that it looks like, almost like it did when it was original. Once it's done, you won't be able to tell the difference. So we're down to the point now where we're gonna start putting, oh yeah, I completely forgot. This here, this whole piece here was bad. So I did one flat piece, welded it in there, ground it down, and I had to put a couple pieces on the inside there, but same deal, just welded them to it, and there we're set. So now we're getting ready to put this together. What I'm doing here is called a cutting butt. Now I don't know if that's the official word or not, but the guy that I watch, that I learned all this stuff from, and he knows his stuff, Fitzy's Fabrication. He's the one I learned this from. I'll put a link so that you can take a check on Fitzy, because I'm probably not the guy you should be learning this from. I do want you to keep watching my videos, but Fitzy's the guy. He's amazing with sheet metal. That's all he does. He's been doing it for decades now. So we're gonna put a link. I'm gonna put a card up over here. I don't know where it goes, but I'll put one up. So what we do, as you see, I have this all tacked in here. I've already started it. All right, so now what I'm doing is, see, it's not here or here. This isn't cut down yet. So what I'm gonna do, the light doesn't want to stay where I put it. Supposed to have a damn magnet on it, but it's not very strong. So what we do now is we go in at a 45-degree angle, and we cut that other piece out there. See, it's all tacked, so this piece isn't gonna move. And then it'll drop down. Sometimes you gotta pound it a little bit with a hammer, but yeah, it'll drop down to level, and then you tack it back in. Then after we get it all done, we're gonna go back and finish welding it, and then we'll stitch the whole thing in, clean it up, it'll be like it was new. So I cut that at a 45-degree angle, and up to this weld here where I got it spotted, so it stays where it is. This is nearly flat. I'll push down on a little bit, and actually I'll smack with a hammer a little bit. Just like that. Now it's all flat. That could probably be pounded up a little bit, but it's fine. And then we're gonna weld that in. So when you have a full-time job and the sun goes down too early, you just don't have time to do this kind of stuff during the week. It's been, if you heard the saying, a month of Sundays. Yeah, it's been a month of Sundays. Getting this done. Finally, this is done, so I could post this up. So we had to make a patch for here, a patch for here, patch for here, patch for here, and a patch on underneath there. I think that's all the patches I had to make. And then I bought this piece at the hardware store, and I had to cut it down. I had to cut it down shorter on that side so I could then put the holes in, spot weld it in, and then sand it down. Here, cut it down a little bit here so it fit like it's supposed to. While I'm fairly sure that I've got all the pinholes and everything, I just put seam sealer on every single place where it's welded. That way I know it's all sealed up. So that's all coated with rusty metal primer. I'd like to have been black, but I didn't have black, so that's fine. Whatever you got, use. And this, I know this looks a little rough down here, but this is going to be, I'm going to take some body filler, and we'll sand all this down, make sure everything, get everything down, and take some body filler so that this part here, which is the only part that's going to be seen, will be smooth like the rest of the truck. All this stuff doesn't even matter. These holes, what big deal, you know? And all that stuff up there, the seam sealer, it's all going to be under the carpet. So, you know, who cares? Or the moldings. And that's all done now. What I did was I've got it, the gray is rusty metal primer, and the black is bed liner. Eventually the whole floor will be bed liner. But it's all done, all in. We can finally put this thing to rest. That was a chore. That's it for Ain't Scared Garage for today. If you like what you see here, don't forget to like and subscribe. You can also check out a couple videos, one here, one here. At least I think that's where they are. See you next time.